Hello, barn burners and barn busters. Good to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker. We are celebrating the 20th season of Red Barn Radio, and tonight we welcome you to show number 757. Tonight on Red Barn Radio, we have Erin Enderlin. In everything she does, Enderlin sings like the air to Patsy or Tammy, then writes like Eudora Welty decided to pick up country music. Over the last year and a half, more people have noticed. The catchy twists in her songs and her classic voice have opened lots of opportunities for Erin. She's been featured in the CMA Songwriter series and received rave reviews from Rolling Stone for her 2019 release, Faulkner County. Welcome Erin Enderlin to the Red Barn stage.
Caroline Radcliffe, just 15, way too young to know what love means. July heat, muscadine wine, and the words it said made her cross a line. On a homemade quilt in the pale moonlight, he swore he'd love her till the day he died. The secret is the tie that binds. Caroline, you laid beneath the Georgia pines. True love is the forever kind. The promises you made that night faded with the morning light. He just used her and he told her so. Left her like trash at the side of the road. She alone would bear the shame. It was early spring when the baby came. Caroline, the secret is the tie that binds. Caroline, you lay beneath the Georgia pines. True love is the forever kind. But when her daddy found out, he went off yelling out threats like rifle shot. I know you can't be the one to blame. Tell me now, what's his name? Two wrongs don't make a right, but a fire burnt in the woods at night. She could see the blood soaking up his jeans, smelled like smoke and gasoline. 5 bullets left in a 6-shooter gun. She said, Daddy, what have you done? Caroline, a secret is the tie that binds. Caroline, he lays beneath the Georgia pines. True love is the forever kind. A secret is the tie that binds. True love is the forever kind.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Erin Enderlin has emerged as a literary songwriter and superb vocal stylist with a knack for sharply drawn characters. Backsliders, Avengers, Lovers, and Victims, they're all in her acclaimed albums such as 2017's Whiskeytown Crier and 2019's Faulkner County. Her catalog includes Alan Jackson's Monday Morning Church, Leanne Womack's Last Call, Luke Bryan's You Don't Know Jack, and a host of other songs for Randy Travis, Joey and Rory. Is that enough for you? Tonight, Erin is here on Red Barn performing with Taylor Jones on drums and Jake Clayton on fiddle. Glad to have you all with us. Welcome back, Erin Enderlin on Red Barn Radio.
Thank y'all so much for having me. Well, this next song, sometimes as a songwriter, folks will tell you, well, I want you to write a song about me. Or at least in my case, my sister did. The problem for me is that a lot of times when I start a song, most of the time when I start a song, I have no idea where it's going. So I just like to make it clear that my sister's not actually in prison. Please Come to Boston was playing on the radio. He asked me to go. I thought, what the hell? It's the same old story. Ain't there always a man involved? Whole thing reeks of alcohol and somebody ends up in jail. See, my sister Gina, she always was the pretty one, just like Audrey Hepburn and breakfast at Tiffany's. She could have had any man, so I thought he was just another one. That no-tell motel shotgun epiphany. My baby sister, sweet baby sister, should've known blood is thicker than love. My baby sister, sweet baby sister, I knew you were a pistol. I never knew you owned a gun. She busted down the door, room 5 at the Family Inn, a joyride to New England, ended with a bang. She said, wait till I tell Mama, and shot out the TV set, crushed out a cigarette, and turned the gun on Bobby Ray. My baby sister, sweet baby sister, should've known blood is thicker than love. My baby sister, sweet baby sister, I knew you were a pistol. I never knew you owned a gun. Well, I visit Gina upstate every Saturday. Bring her smokes and Gatorade. We don't talk about Bobby Ray. My baby sister, sweet baby sister, show good blood is thicker than love. My baby sister, sweet
Thank you. Always love that I feel the need to lean into the mic, even if y'all have the sound right. I'm just giving the sound guy a run for his money. Well, this next song is from my album Faulkner County, which is where I'm from in Arkansas. This song is a love song, but it's not a first love song. It's not even a second love song. It's maybe more like your 10th or 11th or 12th or 13th shot at it. But this goes to show, you just gotta keep looking for it.
Hat pulled down, eyes on the floor. Every night you come back for more. Order up Maker's own eyes and chase it with a lucky strike. Well, I can be your whiskey, I can be your cigarette. I can drown that memory that you're trying to forget. If your loving cup needs filled up, she left you bone dry empty. Baby, I can be your whiskey. My love's stronger than 90 proof. Just wait and see what one kiss can do. And if you think it's too good to believe, well, don't worry, baby, 'cause this round's on me. And I can be your whiskey, I can be your cigarette. I can drown that memory that you're trying to forget. If your loving cup needs filled up, 'cause she left you bone dry empty. Baby, I can be your whiskey. Baby, I can be your one more chance, your one more try. My love can get you so high. I can be your whiskey, I can be your cigarette. And I can drown that memory that you're trying to forget. If your loving cup needs filled up, she left you bone dry empty. Baby, I can be your whiskey. Baby, I can be your whiskey.
Thank you. So this next song is on a new EP that I just put out. The EP is called Barroom Mirrors. And I find it really interesting to look at alcohol as a metaphor for a lot of things in life, as I feel like a lot of people have a relationship with it. But I was thinking one night about how you go into a bar and you look around the room and there's so many characters and there's so many different people going through so many different things. and each having their own reason to drink. And it made me start thinking about that with songs. And when I wrote Barroom Mirrors, it kind of set the table for thinking about going to a bar one night and having a collection of songs about what each of those people in the bar are going through. And this is one of them, except it doesn't sound like that. Let's see. We're just going to check a little tuning real quick. In my mind, this woman's name is Juanita, and her sister Janice stole her husband. But she works down at the bar, and she watches all these people going through, and, you know, she's been through a lot of stuff. But she just does her own thing, and she's old enough to know that you don't care about what other people think. Unless it's about your tuning. Then you might care a little bit. We're almost there. Jimmy, you really did something bad. I don't know what you've been doing. This is my guitar, Jimmy. He's a 1964 Gibson J200. He's named after Jimmy Dickens. I used to work out at the Opry, and I always loved how much Jimmy would come in every night, and he was always so excited to go play and give 110% every night, even though he'd been doing it for so many years. And I just hope that I keep just a little pinky's worth of that love in my heart. Here's a little song I think Jimmy might have liked, because we're all just want to be somebody's shot of whiskey.
It's a blue ribbon morning after a black label night. I got kinda out of hand 'cause I was wound up a little too tight. But Jesus still loves me, even when I do the devil's ways. I'm just a honky-tonk angel with a little bit of hell to pay. But I'd rather be somebody's shot of whiskey, somebody's rough around the edge. At least I can sleep well tonight, 'cause I stand behind the words I say. Can't make everybody happy, that's alright by me, as long as my baby loves me all the way from A to Z. I'd rather be somebody's shot of whiskey than everybody's cup of tea. All my life I've been told I'm cut from a different cloth. If I tried to fight it, it'd all come out in the wash. Oh, if I'm a little left of center, well, I really don't give a damn. 'Cause I got all the friends I need to take me just
Thank you.
You got it? Just for that one song, it was off. Yeah.
So this next song, in my mind, I just love thinking about people's secret lives. I'm definitely one of those songwriters. Like, I don't know if any of y'all have ever watched Walk Hard, but I love it when Dewey's wife is telling him, "Don't you write a song about this right now." I love to sit and just watch and pick up things and think about where people might have been. And in my mind, this woman in the song is a PTA mom. She's always just right down to the nines, all put together, prim and perfect. But she has this whole other life that came before that nobody knows about. And this was her other life. I used to live in LA, right by the freeway. I stayed out all night and drank whiskey like wine and lied about my age. I was working till 4 at the old Troubadour. Pink sunglasses on like a young Elton John into cocaine and boys. I was a sideshow, sort of famous, called from the day I was born, blessed with a sick kind of strangeness. I wore like a cheap crown of thorns, and every day was an endless parade for the queen of Marina del Rey. I used to sleep all damn day in a trailer by the bay. Oh, I was running from ghosts, half lit and half broke, holding court for the strays. And late Tuesday nights, I'd play open mic. One time Roseanne Cash walked up to my hat and she threw in a five. I was a sideshow, sort of famous, called from the day I was born, blessed with a sick kind of strangeness. I wore like a cheap crown of thorns. Every day was an endless parade for the queen of Marina del Rey. I sold Mary Jane and Jesus myself when I needed, though you wouldn't believe it to look at me now. Well, sometimes I flash back to a sleeping bag in a hatchback, a young 20-something who didn't know nothing except how to live fast. Was a fake plastic glitter cachet, but for a moment they all knew my name, and every day was an endless parade
for the queen of Marina del Rey.
Good to have you with us, folks. We hope you're enjoying these great songs by Erin Enderlin. She's here this evening from Nashville, and she brought with her Taylor Jones playing drums and Jake Clayton playing some fiddle. Great to have you all here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Erin, let's talk through your life. First of all, where'd you come from in Arkansas?
Well, I grew up quite a bit all around central Arkansas, but spent most of my formative years, as they say, in Conway, Arkansas, which, of course, is famous for Conway Twitty taking his first name from there.
Oh, I did not
Well, I
know
say, of
that.
course, like everybody knows that, but I guess when you're from there, you know that.
Well, and maybe when you're from Nashville, you know that too, right? Yeah. No, I did not know that. Is Arkansas a state that is parodied in the same way that Kentucky can be parodied? Like
Oh,
we are
definitely.
parodied with Justified, the program Justified. Are you parodied by Ozark, the show?
Well, I think that's more Missouri, or at least that's what we're going to go with.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But there is some of that. I don't know if you ever watched Designing Women, but the main house on there was from there. And there used to be a little show called Evening Shade that was set in Arkansas.
Huh.
But, Arkansas, it's kind of a secret state. I feel like they like to kind of keep it on the down low.
It feels that way. I don't know. I know a lot of states, but I've never gotten to know Arkansas. It's
I think they like
she's
it
not
that way.
talking to me.
Arkansas is a beautiful state. If you love the outdoors, they've got just about everything within the state there, and it's great for hiking. And I spent some time in Hot Springs before I moved to Nashville, and I love that city. It was the first. I forget exactly how they say it because it wasn't a national park, but it's a national forest, and it's gorgeous, and lakes and trees and all that kind of good stuff. Great for hiking, but it's got a great history too of gangsters and all kinds of interesting things. And then, of course, presidents and everybody else would come down to sit in the bathhouses down there. So it's pretty wild.
Huh. And so, talk about your high school year. So you were there through for most of your young life?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in Conway till I was in 10th grade, and then I actually went to boarding school in Hot Springs for 2 years.
Okay.
Go Dolphins.
Oh.
And I went to the Arkansas School for Math and Science, and it was a really cool kind of place where you got to extend your learning apart from the classroom. They kind of let us. Well, I'm a nerd. And I
Oh,
like
you
it.
are?
Yeah.
So through 10th grade, so you were in sort of the advanced track.
Well, I
You were a good
guess
student?
just I've always been curious about things.
Good trait for a songwriter.
Yeah.
What about music in Arkansas when you were growing up? Like, was there a fine arts program at this math and science
It's now
school?
the math, science, and arts school. But I was still lucky enough. It was so cool. We got to do stuff like, so we had what we call dolphin stock. And so we got to build a stage and everything and do basically kind of a festival. But for my senior year in high school, for my science credit, I took folk music and acoustics. So it was our job to learn folk music and play it.
So the boarding school you went to was a science and math program. I gotcha. Okay. And so they had good fine arts. Did you have good teachers there?
Oh yeah, great teachers, really inspiring, and we got to really dig in to some songs and get exposed to a lot of different things and be able to play there. And apart from that, I mean, Arkansas has such a rich history with music. Johnny Cash and Glenn Campbell are from there, obviously. I believe it's Mama Thornton that's from Arkansas. I might have just lied, but it sounds good. And but I grew up in a real singer-songwriter community. A lot of folks that really loved the kind of 60s and 70s rock, folk kind of things. And I was always really drawn to country music, too. But we had a lot of... I mean, I grew up playing writers' nights, which I don't know if that's a thing that most people do. But
Growing up? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was really awesome. Dan Clanton was a big influence on me. He was one of my science teacher's husbands, and he played and wrote folk music. And so he's actually the person who taught me how to finger pick, and kind of started getting in. I'd get to open for him sometimes in different things at these coffee houses. And it was so cool because I just remember how exciting it was. It was all about the songs and the songwriting, and you'd want to write a song that day and go play it, get it hot and fresh out there.
Did you have teachers in your school, writing classes, English classes, whatnot, who sort of recognized your talent as somebody who was observant and curious and getting inside of characters and that sort of thing?
I definitely think I was encouraged because of that. I think that they, hopefully they saw some things in me. But I had some amazing teachers that were just really inspiring. I had one English teacher, Miss Armstrong, and man, the way she could read a book. I love reading, but to me, my favorite part is thinking about the voice in your head that's reading those. And I love to picture Miss Armstrong's voice reading them because it was just, she would just wrap around those words and that phrasing.
Huh. When did you write your first song?
I was in 4th grade. I was at the Boys and Girls Club in Conway. And I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing, but I was reading an article about Reba McEntire. And after a show, someone had told her, "You sounded just like Loretta Lynn." And she took that as a big compliment. And they said, "Well, it is a compliment, but also you've got to find out who you are. Who's Reba? What does your voice sound like?" And I thought for some reason to myself, well, if I wrote a song, no one else would have sung it yet, so I'd have to. And then I started torturing my fellow students by bringing it into school and playing on music day.
All right. Yeah. So 4th grade, that's an early start. Did you at that point in time already have a sense of how to put together a melody? Or was that something obviously you developed in time?
I mean, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm not sure that I still do, but I enjoyed it.
Do.
My mom put me in piano lessons when I was 5, and so I got to start learning a little bit of the theory and the music. And I wasn't necessarily the best player in the world, but I could find enough things, to map it out. I call myself a magician more than a musician.
Take us to that point in time when you felt like you wanted to, so this would have been after your boarding school life. Did you go to college, or did you say at that point, I think I know what I want to do, I'm going to go to Nashville and do it?
I did. I went to MTSU right outside of Nashville, and that was important to me. My parents had put a lot into me growing up and wanted to go to school. And it's really cool, actually. Arkansas has a program with Tennessee where if they have a program they don't have there, it's still in-state tuition.
Oh, nice.
So I got to go over there for in-state and really learned a lot of amazing things. I had some great teachers there and actually some great country music historians that taught.
Oh, all right.
There. And
do they have a traditional music program at MTSU?
They do. I was not a part of that.
Uh-huh.
I was in recording industry, but in the history department, we were lucky enough to have Dr. McCusker, who's done a lot of great research in the country music field, and Dr. Charles Wolfe, who's one of the preeminent voices in country music literary world.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And got to meet a lot of other folks that, kind of were into what I was into, writing and doing that sort of thing. And I was still close enough to Nashville that for me, I could drive in and do the kind of school that I was really excited about, where I'd just go out and listen to all the music. And I still think that's one of the greatest things about Nashville is that it is a buffet of the best music you can hear. And I know that Kentucky has a lot of great music here. Y'all are all about that life, too.
Indeed, we do. Yeah, this has been it's a hot time for music in Kentucky. And we've been so much a part of that, which has been great for us.
That's really cool.
Had so many wonderful artists, including you. So then you finished at MTSU. Did you do the 4-year program there?
I did. I was lucky enough my senior year in school to have Alan Jackson and Patty Loveless cut a song of mine. And put it out as a single. So I got to go into writing full time straight out of college.
So, all right, well, we have to get into that. You say lucky enough. And you really believe that was luck?
Well, I mean, I think it takes work and practice and all those things, but I also understand that the universe is the universe and things got to line up just right.
Well, tell the story of how that you like to tell stories. Tell the story of how things lined up and that happened.
So Monday Morning Church is a song that I wrote with Brent Baxter, who's also from Arkansas. And I knew I had something special when I was playing a place called the Broken Spoke one night, and two guys were having a fist fight, and they stopped punching each other in the face when I started singing that song. And sat down and listened to it. And I thought, there's probably no bigger compliment than that. And if you can get somebody's attention in that moment. And
Were you playing by yourself or with a band?
I'm by myself.
Oh, that's an extra compliment then. Yeah.
And so that was a song I started playing all over for people. And I actually had met a woman who was giving a talk at ASCAP named Reese Faw. And she was in artist development at a publishing company. And I'd met with her a little bit, and she ended up coming down to school, to MTSU, to talk to the class. My teacher said, well, would you want to get up and pretend to have a meeting with her and play a song? And, I mean, I don't know. She might be really hard on you, so you have to, get your guts up, but it'd give you a chance to play her another song. And so I went up, and I played her Monday Morning Church. And she said, I want you to meet my boss, my publisher. And she took me to introduce me to Jeff Carlton. And he actually, I found out years later that he refinanced his house to do some demo sessions on me and started a new publishing company to work with me, and started playing those songs around for everybody. And that was one of the first songs I demoed. And he ended up getting it to Keith Seagal and Alan Jackson.
Wow, Erin, that's a neat story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. That's great.
So there's where the luck comes in, is all the little pieces lining up just right.
Yeah, I see that. But it sounds to me also, though, at MTSU, you developed sort of a body of knowledge that maybe helped you to understand a little more about the path for somebody in professional music.
Sure, and one of the greatest things there is you have so many resources as a student. I found the whole music community really wanted to help you, wanted to teach you. And so if you had questions about things, if you wanted to learn things, you had amazing professors who had worked in the music industry that could direct you to folks or give you thoughts. And you could call up any of the companies in town and be like, I'm a student, I want to just pick your brain about this, or I've got a project that I want to interview you for.
Man, that's dreamy. That sounds great. Yeah. Really cool. All right, let's get back to some music. We have Erin Enderlin on the program. She's with Taylor Jones and Jake Clayton. Welcome back, Erin Enderlin, to Red Barn Radio.
It was disagreeing a little bit. Well, this next song is really special to me. I was lucky enough in high school and college to get to work with a group of kids in a program that kind of helped them find their footing again, I guess, and work through some of the things they'd been through. And I met some really, really amazing young women who'd been through a whole lot in their short lives, and they really took my breath away with how much they were able to get through and the grace that they carried themselves with. So this song's dedicated to them. He was a bastard, even though he knew his daddy, even had his daddy's angry eyes. Brown as the whiskey that ran through both their veins. I turned 18 the day I took his name. I was a young girl, raised up being lonely, and he was the first boy to look my way. My ticket out
might have took me straight to hell. But I take some of that blame and I shoulder it myself. Because I saw in him what I saw in me. A broken limb from a crooked family tree. When you got that kind of history, it's hard to break free. When broken's all you know, it's all that you know how to be. When life is unkind to mothers and fathers, their sons and daughters often grow up just as hard. We had a baby, and oh, I loved him dearly. So I saw clearly the choice that must be made. And I hope that family holds him like I could. It was the only way I knew to get him raised. So I wouldn't have to see in him what I see in me. A broken limb from a crooked family tree. When you got that kind of history, it's hard to break free. When broken's all you know, it's all that you know how to be. When broken's all you know, it's all that you know how to be. Thank you. All right. We kind of were talking earlier about the intersection of I think my in-ears might have turned off. Hello. There it is. Yeah, there we go. Pardon me. We were talking earlier a little bit about the intersection of literary writing and songwriting and different kinds of things. And one style of writing that I've always really loved is stream of consciousness. And I always wanted to write a song that way. And somehow I talked my buddy Stephanie Lambrain into doing it with me. And, well, I'll let the song speak for itself. Do you mind if I sit down? Am I keeping you from closing? Need a double shot of something? Yeah, just leave it open. Me, I'm from here. Oh, but I ain't been back lately. Not since my sister Jamie had her baby in the fall. Me and my friends used to come here in the 90s. Stupid kids with fake IDs, rebels without a cause. Yeah, it's funny, if they're still lining up on Elm Street. Sometimes I miss those old dreams. So here's to what could have been. But I know better than to drag up memories. What's meant to be is meant to be. Like 18 leaving in a beat-up car. Time has a way of making hometowns disappear. Seems like I only show up here for holidays and acts of God. Weddings, funerals and empty hotel bars. Have you ever had somebody that just burned you up completely? Be glad, believe me, that's why I'm drinking now. Yeah, I saw him standing with our old friends, the girl I maybe could have been if I'd stuck around. But I know better than to drag up memories. What's meant to be is meant to be. Try to tell that to a heart. Time has a way of making hometowns disappear. Seems like I only show up here for holidays and acts of God. Weddings, funerals, and empty hotel bars. I guess I'll call it a night, 'cause I've got an early morning. If you're feeling lonely, I'm in room 128. And I could use somebody that ain't his body. Yeah, no, I'm probably just putting off a pain. And I know better than to drag up memories. What's meant to be is meant to be. Tomorrow I'll pack up my car, and all those regrets, they'll be in my rearview mirror. And I'll see the bigger picture, but tonight's the hardest part. Weddings, funerals, and empty hotel bars. Weddings, funerals, and empty hotel bars. Thank you.
Well, I don't write a ton of autobiographical songs, or at least not that I tell people. But this next song is really important to me. It's I love music. I love country music and the history of it. And I've been so lucky now for 20 years to get to work and live in the music. And this song is basically a diary entry from about a year or two of getting to do that. And I don't have a lot of love songs in my catalog, so I was encouraged to do so. And I thought, well, who would I better write a love song to than my boots? These boots look a little rough, they've seen better days. Hole in the sole and the side stitching is frayed. But these boots are just like me, stubborn as an old oak tree. Heels dug in and roots run deep come sunshine or the rain. I picked 'em up in Colorado when I played a rodeo. Push a pedal to the metal down this long and winding road. When you wanna get to know someone, walk a mile in their shoes. My heart ain't on my sleeve, it's right here in these boots. These boots get kicked off by the door, so they don't track in mud. Don't stay there long though, I guess traveling's in my blood.
these boots are tapped along as I watch some heroes sing my songs. Every time I put them on, they fit me like a glove. I finally got to wear them standing on that Opry stage. I walk the streets in Bakersfield where Buck and Haggard played. Well, if you want to get to know someone, walk a mile in their shoes. My heart ain't on my sleeve, it's right here in these boots. Kept my feet on solid ground when I let a good friend go. And came with me to chase this dream, it's so damn hard to hold. The secrets they could tell you, the stories that they know, they won't last forever, good things never do. I've made some real sweet memories right here in these boots. Just scuffed up old brown leather, but man, I love these boots.
Before I tell you about what we have coming up next time, remember you can watch tonight's live stream at your convenience. Just visit the Red Barn Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to tell your friends. And also, our live video stream is available on the weku.org website. You just click the link on the right side of their main page, and our live audio stream can be heard on wgad.net. Don't miss a single episode. Red Barn Radio. Listen to the live. Our live stream this coming Wednesday, December 8th, features Ryan White, Katie Barker, and Shane Diesel Durham. They grew up listening to music and early on each developed a deep connection and love for the music of their parents' generation. All three players have enjoyed a very busy and gratifying musical life as members of other bands in the Charleston, West Virginia area. And then came Three's Company, their blues band, something that began as a fun side project among friends. It quickly turned into a serious, focused celebration of the group's passion for the blues and rock and roll. Three's Company influences span a wide range of genres, from Hendrix and Pink Floyd to Government Mule and even Wolfpack. But join us next week, ready for some Scorchin' Blues. That's next week on Red Barn Radio, Three's Company Blues Band from Charleston, West Virginia. And now let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We come to you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the city of Lexington, Kentucky. We have Erin Enderlin on our program this evening. Welcome her back to the Red Barn stage.
Hope y'all are having as much fun out there as we are in here. This next song is a good little drinking and cheating song. Surprising. It's one of my favorites that I've written because this is the song that got me my chance to play on the Grand Ole Opry for the first time.
She had 2 fish full of whiskey, 3 sheets to the wind, mascara running down her cheek. It was my first time in that bar room. Don't know why she sat down next to me. I was staring at a glass of Tennessee courage. I wasn't strong enough to drink, and she was pouring out her heart and soul so loud I couldn't even think. I let her talk about the hotel room where she spent last night. Let her talk She finally turned my way and said, "What brings you here?" I said, "A fight about a feeling I couldn't prove." And then I bought her another round, another round, and another round. And I let her talk about you. I let her talk about you, baby. Oh, I let her talk about you. Thank you. Well, I wrote this song with one of my favorite folks in the world. Shouldn't say that, or my other co-writers could get jealous. But I love Jimmy Melton. For one thing, he knows all the good stories, and I could sit and listen to him for hours. But he started playing as a preteen, started playing banjo, like on the Opry. Well, he is an incredible picker, and just love this one. So, Jimmy, this one's for you. Bad cups of coffee, old haggard songs, a roll down window on a road that's too damn long, blur of broken white lines and flashing neon signs. Truck stops off the highway where the waitress wears a smile, in case you haven't seen one at home in quite a while. It all comes down to whatever gets you through the night. Another cheap motel room with the curtains drawn, like the conversation, so you leave the TV on, read the Bible on the nightstand, looking for a little light. Kill a couple beers, and if that doesn't work, that smooth Kentucky bourbon will burn till it don't hurt. It all comes down to whatever gets you through the night. And I guess that's why you're calling, 'cause tonight you need a friend, or at least someone to hold you, someone who understands that when it comes to being lonely, there just ain't no wrong or right. Whatever gets you through the night. Keys in the mailbox, porch light is on, and I know I'll fall apart in the morning when you're gone. But when it comes to being lonely, there just ain't no wrong or right. Whatever gets you through the night. Whatever gets you through the night.
Thank you. Well, this next song I wrote with my buddy Kayla Ray, and Terry Clark was kind enough to sing it with me, but tonight you'll have to listen to me be both parts. But I love Emmylou Harris, and I especially love Emmylou's honky tonk kind of things, and I wanted to do one kind of like that. Yeah.
If there weren't so many songs about a jukebox, I'd sing a new song most every day. No waltzes about you leaving, no, the melodies, they come freely. If there weren't so many songs about a jukebox, and if there weren't so many songs about a bottle, about the million ways I could drink you off my mind, I'd be bona fide and happy, straight-laced and all but dry, if there weren't so many songs about a jukebox. Oh, but everything's been said about the ways my heart's breaking. Honky tonks were made for fools like me, and I have no plans to change the ways I've been living. Might be different if there weren't so many songs about a jukebox. Now if there weren't so many songs about a barroom, about the place I go to ease my wounded pride, well, no barmaid would know my name. I'd find other ways to kill the pain if there weren't so many songs about a barroom. If there weren't so many songs about a jukebox, if there weren't so many bottles on that shelf, if there weren't so many barrooms with the bar stool left wide open, I might learn to keep this heartache to myself. Oh, but everything's been said about the ways my heart's breaking. Honky tonks were made for fools like me. Oh, and I have no plans to change the ways I've been living. It might be different if there weren't so many songs about a jukebox. I might be different if there weren't so many songs about a jukebox.
Thank you.
Honky tonk.
Jake
Nice.
Clayton burning up that fiddle. Taylor
Yeah.
Jones trying to keep me in some kind of pocket.
Well, while we're with you, Taylor, tell us about you and how you started to play drums.
Well, I was lucky. My dad was a guitar player who was a drummer as a child who decided to be a guitar player because his best friend was a drummer. And so there was a drum set at the house, and I was just fascinated. So he showed me the basic, 4-beat groove that you do, your Billie Jean, Michael Jackson type groove. And, and that was it, man. I was just lucky that I had a parent that could tolerate drums in the house.
That is a must, I would say, for anybody who's going to learn drums. You got to have a family that's going to be there with you.
Understanding and gracious group of people.
Yeah. And so Nashville, Is that a place where you've lived for a long time?
That's where I'm born and raised. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. So that's your homeboy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it was very convenient for me. I'm thankful, to have been born there and didn't have to move away from all of my family like so many people I know did to chase their dream. So all respect to everybody that's ever done that. But I'm also thankful not to have done that, and to be
Indeed.
5 minutes down the road from my folks still to this day.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So are you a person who is employed full-time as a musician?
I wouldn't say that. I was like in my early 20s. I got to play in a cool band and did that and got to travel and go everywhere. And we were called the Vespers. It was a great time. But when we sort of got married and having kids and everything, that's when we kind of slowed down. And now music to me is something that I sort of do on the side. And I have a band in town. We do classic rock covers and stuff. That keeps me busy on the weekends. And every once in a while I get a chance to play with Erin, and it's always a great opportunity to play with her because she's such a great songwriter and singer.
Yeah. All right. Good to meet you, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks for your music.
You got
Jake
it.
Clayton, you're playing the fiddle over there. You're playing a lot of fiddle tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You like so country music always been sort of your wheelhouse?
Not really. Just music in particular is something I've always just grew up with. My parents were both lounge singers. They worked for Holiday Inn and stuff like that. So my mom would sing everything from Tanya Tucker to Whitney Houston. So I grew up playing just all kinds of different things and play a lot of different instruments for a lot of different styles of music. But I love country.
Oh, all right. Tell me about your training on the violin.
Don't have any training on the violin. I watched some Garth Brooks concerts, some Dixie Chicks concerts, and some CMA awards, and watched what they did and went to town. So,
Boy, not too many people can do that, Jake. So then, what's your main instrument? I mean, how'd you get into string instrument? You didn't just pick up a violin. That wasn't your first string instrument, was it?
Violin was my first string
Come on,
instruments
man.
after I saw Garth Brooks live in Central Park. I told my folks I want to be like his fiddle player. So we had this fiddle in my family. It belonged to my great-grandpa. It's from 1889, and had it fixed up, and it's been the fiddle I've taken all over the world with me.
Wow. And so all over the world doing or playing with whom?
I've worked for Tanya Tucker for many years, since 2007. Worked for a lady named Sunny Sweeney. Done some stuff with Brandy Carlisle and Brandy Clark, a lot of the same circles that Erin runs in and stuff like that. So been China, Japan, Norway, Canada, all over those kind of places.
Wow.
Taking the
So-
fiddle with me.
Yeah, man. Well, I guess it's probably not. It's really not that uncommon to find a fiddle that's that old. It's just hard to find a fiddle that's any good that's that old, huh?
Yeah, just making sure that it's playable. A lot of the stuff they had back then was really, really good, and then there was a lot of it that wasn't. So
So, but that's your main axe. Wow, you sure do play it well.
thank you.
Yeah. What other instruments do you play?
Anything with strings or keys. I'm one of those guys in Nashville that plays like steel guitar, dobros, banjos, mandolins.
Oh, man.
all kinds of different things. Anything that twangs, I like to say.
Wow. Well, you're a great player. Very nice to meet you. Thanks for coming to be on the program
Yes, sir.
tonight. All right. So let's see, Erin, where should we go next with our conversation? I mean, there's so many things I'd really like to talk about. I think one is writing regimens. Some consider writing regimens similar to conditioning regimens, where they have to do it as a routine, not just when they feel up to it, or else they lose it. Is that sort of your feeling?
I found success both ways, but I have never. I was I was really lucky to get to go into writing full time, to have that luxury, of being able to spend all day creating. But I guess I feel like for me, it's such a big part of the writing process is all the other things, filling up the well. So I might write really hard and write 10 songs in a week, but then I might go for a month and just read books and walk in the woods and watch movies and listen to people in a coffee shop and take the world in and just kind of try to. A lot of times I'll start with just the first line of a song, and sometimes I like to do what I call snowballing, where I just kind of have some kind of idea or picture or character that I get stuck on, and then I'll just go do all those other things and reading and listening to folks and walking around and just kind of let it snowball a little bit until I get enough of it to where I go in then one day and sit down with somebody and just write. And it seems easy at that point, but it's all that other stuff that kind of helps me build up to it.
Yeah, and so do you? But you must have some. You must do even when you're filling up the well and doing the coffee house and other means of sort of developing material in your mind and in your heart.
Yeah.
You must still record that. You don't remember all that, right?
Oh yeah, I keep little notes and stuff, and now it's easier because I've got an iPhone like everybody. But
Yeah, right.
used to, I'd have like a million little scraps of paper everywhere, and I carried one of those little cassette recorders, you know. But yeah, and I love it, and I got to spend a long time working full time as a songwriter in Nashville, which was great. And I'd go in, write once or twice a day, a lot of times, and I was fortunate enough to be around folks like Bob McDill used to always be hanging around my office, and just crazy talented folks. But then the last several years I've been out playing 120 dates a year or so, and sans COVID. And so that in itself kind of leans to having time doing other things, and you kind of just grab those little bits and pieces and keep them for later.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that path to being a full-time songwriter, which you did for how many years?
I would say that probably for about a decade, that was the primary focus of
And
what
I guess
was
you
doing.
and I guess you told us the story already that started that kicked that off,
Yeah.
right? That started when you were a senior or just wrapping up at MTSU and you got the song covered. So then what? I mean, did that open the door then for you to get a job at a publishing house?
Yeah, I wrote for Jeff Carlton's company. It was called World House of Hits. I was the only writer for a while, so that was a lot of pressure to be an entire World House of Hits.
Yeah, right.
And then I got a deal on RCA Records, but I never ended up releasing anything from them. So I was working, doing that artist thing, and I got to go to do cool stuff like record. During one of my songwriting sessions, George Jones was recording in the studio next door, and I learned a whole lot from that experience.
What'd you learn? What'd you learn?
I mean, so much. Just the, you gotta, part of it I think was finding new ways to fall in love with music again, and, making sure that you remember you're writing for the folks like you and for the folks that were like you as a teenager growing up, or folks out there going through things or wanting a good time or whatever, and not just worrying about writing for what some executive on Music Row is going to like, which is good too, but I think sometimes there's a different kind of pressure in Nashville that can make you forget about just how much you love playing music.
Yeah, right. Well, as somebody like you who is so curious and it sounds like you do a lot of sort of thinking and mapping out the stories that you want to tell. I guess I can imagine that one question that you had once you found yourself sort of operating in this musical idiom is, how is my voice going to be different? And how is it going to be fresh? And for you, was that about sort of pushing forward, or was it about looking back?
I think it's both for me, because one of the things I love about a lot of country music and folk music is that it does draw so heavily on it's the folks who come before and inspiration from that. But I think it's one of the easiest and the hardest things to do, to be able to just be yourself in writing and artistry and everything else. And I think that's something that I've struggled with, and I guess most people do, but not just from the outside world telling you that, but becoming comfortable enough with yourself to do that too. And I was lucky. I've had a lot of great supporters, and I got to go in, do my first 2 records with Jim Brown and Jamie Johnson. And Jamie, he has definite ideas of who he is as an artist, and I think he might have gone through some of that too. But we went in and we cut the first record, and he said, "I just want you to bring in all the songs you love, and I don't care. I don't want you to think about radio. I don't want you to think about anything else. I just want you to love it, and I don't care if we cut 10 ballads." And he was so much about in the studio, just if he was feeling it, if he was loving it, and if it had that kind of the magic, the gut feel. And I think he gave me a lot of a lot of confidence to be able to try to just be like, okay, this is who I am, for better or worse, you know? Like, maybe a little bit rough around the edges. I can be very literal sometimes in my writing. I get that way, and different things, but sometimes that's what makes you unique. I know that, like, for example, one of the lines in a song that I got a lot of attention over, I wrote a song called Not Enough Tequila with Moose Brown that Terry Clark cut. And there's a line in it that says, a sign hanging saying something in Spanish about let the good times roll. And I didn't really know any Spanish, not that much. And I was like, well, I don't want to try to like be cool and say something because I'm going to sound like a nerd if I'm, trying to speak something beautiful in Spanish. So that's just something in Spanish, and that was just basically, that was me just, well, I'm ignorant. I don't know how to do that. I could do something. I could probably fake something in French, but that's a whole other story. And, but then people were like, oh, that's so cool. I love that you just said that because that's so like how you would just say something because you don't know Spanish. And I was like, okay, I guess so. Yeah, you're right. That's really smart. That's what I intended to do with that. And the whole time it was just, I didn't know how to say anything in Spanish.
Yeah, but you were yourself. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And those little moments, I think, help to kind of teach you that. And, there's so many writers that I love. Guy Clark and Matraca Berg and Gretchen Peters and Cindy Walker. And I could go on and on, Radney Foster. But they're already out there. They're already doing their own thing. They're saying things the way they say it. And if you try to chase them, if you try to do what they're doing, you're really cheating yourself from whatever that magic is of just how you would say it.
Yeah, but what a great gift Jamie gave you.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful thing to offer up. Right?
He's been an amazing, amazing supporter of mine.
Well, I guess I'm going to ask you one more thing before you get back to music, and that's not because I know because you're dying to talk about it, but because I know a lot of listeners would be interested in hearing about it. Can you tell a couple of stories about some folks that they may know? Roseanne Cash being one, and then the Elton John story is kind of fun too. Yeah. Can you tell those stories?
Well, so Queen of Marina Del Rey that I played earlier. I had name dropped a few people in there, and in the song, I was a huge fan of Elton John when I was little. I got grounded one time for scratching one of my dad's Elton records, but I always thought when I was writing the song, I was thinking, man, if you were doing a show and someone was in there and they liked what you were doing enough to come up and put some money in your tip jar, who would be the ultimate like? You could really put a stamp on it. And I was thinking, man, if Roseanne Cash said, you're all right, that would be the coolest thing. And somehow, well, I guess Roseanne's manager has since told me that he was a fan of what I do, and he listened to that record and heard Roseanne in there and gave her a copy of the record. And one day I woke up and had an email from Roseanne Cash that... it was really funny, but she had said, man, I got a hold of this record and I really love it. I hope you don't mind. I sent it to my friend Elton. And she also said in the email, which I love, she said, and by the way, I should have put more than $5 in your hat. But I emailed her back and I was like, first of all, you're Roseanne Cash. So we'll take a moment for that. And second of all, you don't mean Elton John, do you?
What other Elton is there?
I mean, I guess I knew that, but it's just so wild. And I never would have thought in a million years that song would have done that. But she said, yeah, and I think he wants to interview you. So if you don't, be on the lookout. And I got a call from his folks saying that he wanted to have me on his show. And got to set it up. It was during the time of the COVID. So I got a FaceTime call, and I figured it'd be like his production assistant or somebody on there. No, it was just like Elton John, just like straight up FaceTiming me. And got to talk to him for a little bit, and it was wild, and I was embarrassing, and I can never listen to that interview probably without blushing. But it was incredible, and Roseanne has been so cool. I mean, one of the coolest things I think she's done. I've never actually met her in person, but all this was kind of happened during the whole time of the downward spiral, and she would just send me an email every so often and be like, "Hey, I know it's really hard right now, especially for independent musicians. So I just wanted to send you a note to say today to tell you that what you're doing is important, and just keep doing it." And I mean, she doesn't have to do that. She doesn't know me
No.
from anybody and anything. And just, I'm sure that she was facing a lot of the same things. It was just, the world was so strange. And everybody was going through so much. But for her to take the time to do that really meant a lot to me. And she invited me this year to be a part of the Johnny Cash Heritage Festival in Arkansas, honoring her dad and helping raise money for scholarships for students in the area and stuff. And that was really, really cool experience too.
Well, that's a great note to finish on, because we were talking earlier about sort of what it is that sets country music apart, and this genre. And I think what we find over and over again is that people who end up playing in this genre are people who had really, really strong mentors. Those mentors came from the church, they came from the family, they came from their neighborhood. But that's a real strong tradition that exists in this kind of music that maybe doesn't exist in rock and Americana, So that's pretty cool to hear you say that.
I love it.
And think about the mentors you have, and the fact that Roseanne herself, with all her success, understands that she is also a mentor, and that's part of what she's bought into.
It's really amazing. I grew up hearing that country music was a family, and it really does feel like that.
Yeah. Folks, we're talking with Erin Enderlin. She's here with Taylor Jones and Jake Clayton. Great having you guys here this evening. Wonderful that you took the time to make the trip from Nashville, and we wish you well, and we really wish you would play some more songs.
It'd be my pleasure.
All right.
I can't speak for these two.
Erin Enderlin.
I've been high on a mountaintop, felt like I couldn't stop, just kept soaring. And I've been down in that valley where it always seemed cloudy, but I kept on trying. The ups and the downs, the highways and towns, the turns where I kept on finding.
You know what? Can we just start that over again? Boom. For the folks at home, this is called My Brain.
I've been high on a mountaintop, felt like I couldn't stop, just kept soaring. And I've been down in that valley where it always seemed cloudy, but I kept on trying. The ups and the downs, the highways and towns, the turns where I kept on finding. The wheels kept turning while my wheels were burning, right through the ties that were binding. The rainbows I've chased and found no part to go. The nights that I left you with no one to hold. You were the one thing I did right back then. I could do it again. Lying here beside you, I wonder why you put up with my wandering ways. Never thinking less of me, 'cause you wouldn't want me anyway but the way that I am. The roads that I've run, I'm feeling more lost than found. The nights that I could have been where I am now. Well, you were the one thing I did right back then. But darling, I'd do it different if I could do it again. But darling, I'd do it different if I could do it again. Thank you. This next song is a song that I wrote with my friends Kayla Ray and Kimberly Kelly. And it came together pretty fast. It's one of my favorite songs I've written. It's a good old sad country song. Breakfast table, 2 fingers whiskey. I've never felt this empty in the middle of the day. Sign in the front yard says it's all for sale. And if I'm not in hell, headed that way. Sorry, one second. I feel like my in-ears kind of disappeared a little bit. I think I might have pulled out. I think my hair and everything just kind of pulled it out of the. It's back now a little bit. It's my first time using the in-ears. And now my brain's not working. You know what? We're just gonna switch and do a different song. It'll be fine.
gonna pull out an oldie but a goodie. It's called Ain't It Just Like a Cowboy. It's gonna be, it's very simple.
Cool. That's it.
Let's do it. There were daisies in a coffee can sitting by my bed when I woke up. I love you written on a note beside my favorite cup. His boots weren't in the kitchen, and his whole hat was missing from the door. I sank down in that empty chair, been here so many times before. Ain't it just like a cowboy to see inside your heart? Say all those pretty things, start pulling all your strings till you're tangled in the dark. And right up on that white horse, like he's there to save the day. But ain't it just like a cowboy to ride away? He's probably gone to Tucson or Abilene or somewhere in between. There's something in those motel rooms that just can't find me. Here's a part where drinking is easier than thinking about what he's doing tonight. He's holding her like he held me. God, I should know better than to try. Ain't it just like a cowboy to see inside your heart? Say all those pretty things, start pulling all your strings till you're tangled in the dark. Right up on that white horse, like he's there to save the day. Oh, ain't it just like a cowboy to ride away? Ain't it just like a cowboy? Ain't it just like a cowboy? Thank you. Yes. Well, this song's on my latest EP, and Roseanne Cash was kind enough to sing some harmony on it. I wrote this with Leslie Satcher. Like dark whiskey
cuts through ice. Like a train whistle cuts right through a Delta night. Like a hot Texas wind cuts through a back door screen. Baby, you cut through me. Like wild roses take old graveyards back. Like the levees in New Orleans gave when the water came on fast. The way eyes of blue pierce right through an old black and white memory. Baby, you cut through me. And if I had an iron will, an armor forged in Detroit steel, I would not have what it takes to fight off the way this feels. If I was made of solid stone, I wouldn't be that way for long. 'Cause baby, you cut through me. Baby, you cut through me. Well, here I am at your mercy again. No chance at all, like a candle in the wind. Why try to hide this weakness like it's something you can't see? When baby, you cut through me. Baby, you cut through me. And if I had an iron will, an armor forged in Detroit steel, I would not have what it takes to fight off the way this feels. If I was made of solid stone, I wouldn't be that way for long. 'Cause baby, you cut through me. Baby, you cut through me. Like dark whiskey cuts through eyes. Like a train whistle cuts right through a Delta night.
There are so many people to thank for our program. First, Erin Enderlin and her band, our guests this evening, and our volunteers and staff who make our production happen so beautifully each week. Thank you all for your listening to our webcast, watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and those listening to us on the network of Red Barn radio stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, you got to be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program. We are on the web at redbarnradio.com. And now, once again, folks, please welcome back the Erin Enderlin Band to the Red Barn stage.
Thank you. I want to thank these guys. This is horseshoes and hand grenades. Jake Clayton and Taylor Jones. We're just trying to get close. I'm gonna let you decide. It's apparently what I'm doing with my tuning. This last song is from my Faulkner County album. I'd like to send this one out to Mr. Gene Watson tonight. Gene Watson singing farewell party, single barrel double shot on ice, sitting there talking to a stranger, 'cause I don't want to be alone tonight. I should be drinking wine instead of whiskey. I shouldn't be in this barroom, but I am. Tomorrow I'll wake up feeling guilty, but tonight I don't give a damn. He's just some old highway cowboy. His hands are up, his kisses taste like smoke. But it's been so long since you touched me, I just might let him take me home. What's a one-night stand gonna get me? Feeling more alone than I already am. Tomorrow I'll wake up feeling empty, but tonight I don't give a damn. I guess I'm just another heart you broke, so why should I care if you don't? I should be drinking wine instead of whiskey. I shouldn't be in this barroom, but I am. Tomorrow I'll wake up feeling guilty, but tonight I don't give a damn. No, tonight I don't give a damn.
Thanks,
Thank
Erin.
y'all so much for having me.
Thank you. Well, that's it for our Red Barn Radio show for this week. But you can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. Archive performances on Spotify and iTunes, and mountains, literally mountains of video on the Red Barn Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to check out our social media for updates to our upcoming schedules and more information on our program. Hey, and remember this, every like, comment, share, and subscribe helps bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods. And finally this, if any of our featured artists are performing in your area and you are mobile, go out and hear them live. Now from all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, it's our hope that you have a great week. Keep working together to be safe and healthy, and until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.